Hello? Can you hear me back? I can't hear you. Hello? Cool. So, yeah, I'll be talking about the UI and UX for the mobile designs. And basically, this topic I picked due to, there are always fight in corporate sector. Like, developers are correct, designers are correct, and like QA is also correct. So, I want to know that how many of you are developer here? Few? Okay, any developer, mobile developer, web developer, anyone, right? Designers, cool. And students? I see, okay. Most of the students, hello? Hello, okay, cool. So, yeah, I'll give you some brief idea about the UI and UX. So, UI is the user interface where you can interact with that one. So these are the basic types of the UI where you can see like, let me just add this here. Okay. So graphical user interface, where you see most of the graphics is always on like mobile screen, computer screen, laptop, or maybe some tablets and or maybe TV. The other is command line interface. Have you heard this one, CLI? Okay, cool. So the command line is like terminal for Linux or maybe for the Windows, where is only single interface and you have to just type down the commands and it will do the task for you. Voice interface. Have you heard of this? Siri. This is a software, right? Siri is a software. So you can consider Siri as a voice interface, but maybe Google Home, Alexa, those are the voice interface. They hear you and they'll give you like feedback from speaker and all. The other is touch user interface. This one, anyone? Do you know this one? Touch user interface. Cool. All the screen where you can touch, not just the mobile. Maybe if you have gone into a lift and have touched the number of the floor and then it will take you to the floor. So those all are the touch interface. So next is the UX, and UX is like what you see, what you feel, what you experience with interacting with the UI. So mostly people don't know what is the UX here. Maybe all consider as a UI that whatever I see, it should be the UI and maybe kind of UX. But UX is something like that, how you satisfy the user with your product design or the experience you give to the user. And it should be the good. If it is not good, users are going to leave out all of it. Okay. Why talk on this one? So I myself is an Android developer. I don't design any stuff, but I do take care of all the UX on the Android screens. So since I'm totally dependent on the designers because I have to do the designs in the Android screens, whatever design done by the designers, and I go back and say like, okay, this is not good. Why did you put that? This is not Android standard guidelines that you have to do. So basically, I'm just here to give you some brief about the UI and UX on the mobile screen, how you should proceed on that one. So maybe your next step could be good for the users you have been targeting. So mobile first and content first. So back in 2014, I was developing one application for the Germany-based client. So they introduced me that, okay, you have to create a website and similar application for the mobile as well. So have you heard the progressive web apps? Anyone? Yep. Okay, cool. So basically, it mimics the UI of the mobile into the web. They have the same color, same themes, and all the things, and it is typically clean. What you see on the mobile, it should be there, and maybe some added information in like description and all. So how many of you are using the mobile every day, like for like 6 to 7 hours? Most of the Instagram users? TikTok? No. I know you do that, TikTok. I will follow you. Okay. Any other? Any other application you have been using most? Any examples? Twitter, LinkedIn is okay, but sorry, LinkedIn is okay, but do you use the LinkedIn for the most of the time? No, right? Just the time you want to use you want to use the application of the LinkedIn, and once your purpose is served, you leave that, right? So LinkedIn is basically like created for the targeted services and targeted work, while Twitter, when you can use anywhere, or you even express your thought in general language. You can also express your thought on LinkedIn as well, but they have some total different purpose for that. Okay, so what you see for the Instagram application, most of the youngsters like age of 14 to 36, they are all on the Instagrams, and they've been using like for like 2 hours a day at least. It's average figure, not the actual figure. So if you want to target the image or the media application for your users, you have to be like similar, not the Instagram, but similar, like how they are targeting the users, how they are giving the information, whatever they need, how they are writing the algorithms to follow the users. Like if you are following someone with having a similar kind of post in hashtags, and they will give you suggestions similar like the other user. Okay, so these are the statistics for the last 3 years. So there is a total 0.93 trillion visits in 16, and similar in 17 and 18. What you see on the graph is 16, 17, 18. The top part is for the mobile. So total visits from the all the visits is 57% for the mobile. So you have to know your audience, that from where your traffic is coming. And on the right side, it is how much time is being spent on the computer or on the phones. So all top graphs is for the phones, and in recently 2018 it is like around 42%. Well, it is not dominant here, but I can actually say that like 42% is good for actually spending time on that one, because let's say we are the computer or IT engineers, and mostly we are spending time on the computer, like coding, surfing, and all the things. But even though like other users are also spending time on the phones, and it's like 42% of their total time. And here for the total visit is 58%. So you have to consider your next product having not just the website, but also the mobile application as well. Yeah, so this most of the conversation happen on the desktop, like 75% of conversation. Not I'm not talking about the conversation as a WhatsApp or direct message here. Interacting with people, for example, any forums, they do interact, question, answer, and all that. So mostly it's been done on the desktop yet. So you have to come up with a good strategy where you don't need to take the more of the user inputs, and then you can still create your product efficiently. Okay, a question for you. Does UI matter? Does graphic matter for you? Yes? Is it really? Okay, let's say, have you been playing games, not just on the phone, computer, or any other console anywhere? Right? So what do you see in the games? What do you prefer to see in the games? How do you feel when you play the games? Any random guesses would be fine, or whatever your honest experience here. Sorry, what? Triggers. Okay, cool. Next. Character is basically graphic design, right? Yeah, it's good. Animations. Sorry, what? Oh yeah, FPS. That's the good point. Another? Cool. A game can be like anime. If the game is animated, it doesn't mean that it should look like For example, I'll show you in the next slide. Okay, so let's go backward a little bit. So back in 1972, Pong is a game name and Atari is a corporate name. So they introduced one console. Okay, have you seen the one computer similar like this table, and there is a TV and there is a control over left and right, like gaming similar, and you played some of the what? What was the game name? Yeah, joystick. Yeah, but what was the game names you have played? Contra came in like remote controlling game. Okay. Taken. Cool. Any other? Like car games, bike games, road race, yeah. So this is also one of the UI what you see in the games and user interface as a controller. And like when you are what you can say, like avoiding the targets, you feel like do. But like okay, I might break it, right? But it is a mechanical control, and they give you the feasibility and compatibility, and it is reliable. What you can say, the mechanical control, and you can play the game content to your heart, and it feels good, right? So the Pong game, this is their only one screen, and this is the only game here. What you have to do is this, like, you don't have to take that, you don't have to, I'm not good in English that much, but I'll try. You don't have to take the ball. Okay. So just like you don't have to take हिंदी में बोली जो कि गुजराती में બોલને પાછળ નહીં જવા દેવાનો બરોબર બરોબર ને ઓકે અંગ્રેજી શીખવાડજો પછી મને Okay, so this is the game console. There is only one controller, and what you see, teeny tiny TV, that is the only UI you see. But back in what it was like 1972, and people felt very good, and they welcomed this game here in USA. Yeah, and it wasn't actually a game. It was a originally exercise for the team members who are making the graphical content for them. Okay, was it a simple? Cool, like તમારે બોલને પાછળ નહીં જવા દેવાનો બસ પતી ગયું ને. Next, simple, right? Is it good? I mean, people liked it back then, but is it good like UI wise? Right? Good? Well, I mean, UI was good or not? No, right? It doesn't matter here because you feel whatever you are playing, UI doesn't matter here for this game, right? Next is, okay, after a few years, Japan in 1983, they introduced one of the gaming console, and in USA they introduced same in 1985. The game console was named Nintendo Entertainment Systems. Okay, have you heard the name Nintendo? Nintendo, okay, right. So, why are they famous? Mario, yeah. So, basically, they created so many games with 3D graphics, 2D graphics, but the Mario was the one of the best. Users welcomed them. Okay, this is the screen. What do you see here? Just a simple graphics, and back then there was no FPS, there was no high resolution devices. Just a simple, like maybe 300 to 500 of pixels of TV screen size, and then okay, this is the game. But I think most of the 90s kids have played this game, right? I'm not sure about the millennials. Right? And any new? Is there any 20s kid? What do you call 00s kid? No? Okay. So, okay. This is the current application. So my question was like, was it really good graphics? No, but people liked it, right? Because the developer knew that, okay, if I give the feeling of the games to the user, and it doesn't matter whatever graphics it is. Even though back then they could do the refining of the pixels and all, but they didn't. Okay, so this is the one of the application that I am working on. Here I have shared the two screens. And what you see on the bottom, there is a tab bar, and on the top, there is a tab controller. And on the most top, there is just a navigation little bit. So there is a three control I have given. And inside of that, it's just data or whatever images it is. And some information inside the image is on the top left corner. And on the right side, I have given some analytics information there. It's just a text and numbers. So this is just a pure white screen, white design. It doesn't have any clutter. I mean, I don't bombard with all the information that you see on the newspaper websites, that if you are searching somewhere, you see the article and they will give you like, see this, and then there will be also like advertise maybe on the middle of the screen. And you get very real, I mean, quickly annoyed that, okay, I don't like this one, and you just leave it without reading the article. Okay, so this is just a simple design. We haven't used any of the what you can say graphical content here. On the bottom, what you see, there is 5 tabs, and it is pretty easy to understand for the user. That first one should be similar to the grade. Second is the event or maybe the calendar. Third one is that application wants me to add something or do something. Third one is the analytics, and fourth is something more. And when tap on it, it will give you some more design. And recently, like just before 1 month ago, Apple invited us to showcase this application into the App Store for the sleek design. And this is Android application, Android screenshot, but it is similar for the iPhone as well. Okay, does graphic matter? Did you see any cool graphics there? No, just the message that that developer wanted to convey to the user, that okay, you should do this when a user taps on it, and that should be done. So here is a twist. So graphic doesn't matter, or is it? Okay, I'm gonna do some upside down here, like not the really, but yeah, UI matters. So for those who say like FPS and good graphics for the animations and the characters they have building for the games, well, it does really matter UI. But it depends always on the application and the core feature of your application, that what you want to do with the user and what you want from the user. Okay, so this is just one simple design here. What you see is 2 interactions with the user. First one is that there is a graph, and user can interact with touch events, or you can like scroll or touch somewhere, and it will show up there. And at the bottom, sometimes it appears as a notification, and you just like dismiss it. So 2 interaction, so much of graphical content, but I really like it. It looks good to my eye at least, right? So here UI matters, and I feel good, like okay, if I can like do something like that, it gives me some more information on the whatever graph I can see. So here is another example of the screen. Let's say you are going to the movie to show the movie, maybe a date, but you want to see the seat arrangement and all. But see how they are giving the animations and what is the design, how they are giving the information, how when you are choosing the seats and all. Mostly this booking is available on the website and as a good graphics, but combining all the user good experience into the mobile is a little bit tricky, and maybe we don't have to, I mean, we have to consider whatever user wants, not other things which are available in the website as well. Okay, so what is the UI for the mobile actually? So can anyone differentiate the mobile screen and the laptop or maybe the desktop screen? Yes? Yeah, you please. Yeah, so even nowadays there is a touch screen available for the laptop, even for the screens,
Screen size
TV
is
screens.
also different.
Yeah. So what you see on the mobile, okay, what you see on the mobile and the laptop screens is just the size of the uh, device you see. So you have to be careful that what content you are showing on the desktop, and same for the maybe the mobile phones. So we have to be careful about the touch sensitivity. Like if you are, uh, let's say for the previous example that there was showing some engine information like petrols and kilometers, and we are showing that two graph information like whenever user is touching somewhere, it gives two information there. So that looks click and it feels good. It feels good. So this kind of experience makes users to come back to the same application again. So it's just not a matter of the application that okay, some user is installing the application and for like maybe 1 or 2 years, user is ditching the application. But no, we want the user to come back again. Any good example, or maybe any daily life application that you always open the application when you are like in the morning, maybe before go to the sleep. Good examples other than the social media application. No. Yes. Okay. What is that? Netflix streaming services. So you watch, yeah, Spotify. So it is also entertainment applications. Twitch is good. TechCrunch is good, and I really like the TechCrunch application. How they have done the text and how you see on the text on the screen. There is no other content, only the target you want to see. Meetup or GitHub? Twitter. Meetup, yeah, for your next meetups. Yeah. Smaller screen size, yeah. So, has anyone tried snapshotting your desktop and then opening the same snapshot in your phone? Anyone? Cool. How does it look? Smaller? Why? No. So I have this phone. It has full HD, 1080, 9020. I have other phone. It has like Ultra HD, almost 4K. So TV is like this big, and they have like HD and maybe 4K display. But why does it look smaller on the phone? No, aspect ratio doesn't. Well, it matters, but why small? I mean, like aspect ratio. Let's say if you are uh, proportion to what? Yeah, it should be, yeah. So I'll give you a brief answer here. What you see on the website in the desktop and take the snapshot. So first there is a title and little bit secondary text, and there is a main content here. So it looks good to your eye when you are on the desktop screen. But the same snapshot, if you open on the phone, it doesn't look. Why? Because the text gets smaller. It doesn't look too good. It doesn't look good to your eye because the text is very smaller. So you have to be careful with the text size here on the smaller screen. Not just the text size, maybe the graphics as well. So this is the difference here for the desktop and phones. High resolution, as I said, like Ultra HD or almost 4K. Icon-based controls. So previously, back one of the Planoly application I show you, there was only like 5 controls on the bottom. So I don't have to give the name or long name. Okay, this is the more, this is the add, this is the home. In some scenario, it needs to be added because user don't know for example, vague icons. Like if you are giving some of the correct sign, and that should be like user don't understand what is that correct sign for the icon, or maybe what action should be done. So you have to give the name there, or if you have to give some information to the user, like okay, if you do this one, this screen will open, or this data will show it to you. So basically, icon-based designs, icon-based controls. Yeah, smart watches, very little interface. like tiny 240 pixels, and still it looks good. Well, we cannot accommodate all the content on the smartwatches, but what you can do with is that like give only the important information. Like for example, yesterday I was seeing my friends. I think was it an Apple Watch? Yeah. So there was like heartbeat rate up and low, and some timing, and maybe my everyday pace. So whatever I needed, it just show up on the screen and just only the text. And I understand, okay, this is my text and with a little bit of highlight. So you have to be careful with the smaller screen size, as even smaller like smartwatches. You don't have to show the article, and you user not gonna see any articles on the smartwatches as well. Okay, FPS. Uh, and can anyone tell me what is rendering? Yes? Yeah, you. Okay. Okay.
Models are there, so they'll adjust the lighting and all.
Okay.
So they'll render it like
Okay. Okay. Uh, any other guy who can answer me the rendering? What is rendering? I think students should be aware of this one as well. No one? Okay, I'll give you. So whatever you have designed, maybe it could be a graphics, as he said, like SVG graphics, SVG icons, or maybe whatever, HTML pages, images, videos. So those are actually a raw content for the computer. And once it has been processed, it renders on the screen. So rendering means whatever the images it has been whatever images it been shown from the videos, SVGs, it can be displayed over the display screens. That is rendering. But nowadays, let's say the average FPS for the video nowadays is 30, at least 30. And maybe if you go high-end phone, it is a 60 FPS, maybe more, maybe 90 FPS. It is a video FPS. But if you are playing a game, if you see 30 FPS screen, and if you're like moving mouse like this and this, your mouse will like go like this way. And sometimes you don't see transition between here to here. It just like displays here and then again here. So it is because of the rendering of the frames. So 30 FPS is noticeable to the human eye. 60 FPS is not. But if you compare with the 120 or 140, maybe more than 140 FPS, and if you like use the 1 or 2 days for the same phone, and if you come back again to the 60 FPS, you will see noticeable difference. Okay, this is the rendering issue, or maybe why my phone is lagging. So it's actually not, it's just a matter of FPS. So if you are using the high quality graphics, so high quality graphics requires more memory. And nowadays phones has a 60 FPS. So 60 FPS means frames per second, 60 frames per second. So per second it renders 60 times. So it requires so much of CPU load plus memory. So you have to be careful with graphics what you are including for the mobile, because mobile has a battery and it drains fast when you are rendering high graphics. Okay, just a minute. So this is the important points I will give you to whenever you are designing your mobile screen, and it should be useful for the desktop application as well. Okay. Minimize cognitive load. That means the human brain power up for the processing. If you give so much of content and user can decide what he wants to, otherwise user thinks, okay, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, I cannot do that. I will do that, I won't do that. So this is the stage where user goes to when user sees your application. User cannot decide what he is want to do next or what is the problem with the application. So you have to be careful with the items, whatever content you are showing to the users. Maybe just one thing, maybe what, let's say if you want to take a photo of the, I mean, if you are building camera application, you just show the camera button, maybe play, pause, and snapshot, or maybe some filter, but it doesn't appear on the screen. You just click on the next, or maybe the setting, and then it displays over the screen. So users knows this is a camera application, and by tapping on this one, I can do my job done, and that's good. This should be your aim to create application. Do not give user to think more about why he is doing that one. Declutter. Can anyone, any designer, give me some brief about the declutter? Yes, you?
Declutter refers to minimizing the things which are not needed, and a minimal look, which is like a material design tool of Google is doing right now. That's what decluttering is.
Yeah, that's correct. That's actually correct. So let's go back to the newspaper application, newspaper websites. Whenever you are opening that, there is so much of content on left and right, bottom and top, and only few content what you see. So when you are actually making the application, you don't need all this one. Well, maybe for the monetization purpose, you can give the bottom at the bottom you can give some advertisement, but not all the screens on the full screens. Just the content you want to show. Decluttering gives you information that you have to be careful. Like, I don't want user to see this one on this screen, and this is the only screen I should be displaying there. That means declutter. Offload task. Don't give so many tasks on the same screen. If possible, you can do like break the task. For example, does anyone using Amazon for the purchase or anything? Yes? No? No? Yes. So have you been through the checkout process of the Amazon? No? Yes, of course, yes, because otherwise how can you purchase that one? So how does the Amazon work? First, it takes the information of the product that you want to see, you want to purchase. There is the first part. On the first part, they ask you like how many items or maybe quantities. If you want to add another product into the cart, you can add there. Once your cart is done, what do you go for the next? Maybe next. If there is a coupons available, I'm not sure if Amazon provides that one. But if not, your delivery address information. Okay, this is the 5 delivery address, select any one. So first one was product selection, second was like delivery address selection. This is a two different thing. If you are showing the same information on the same screen, both the information on the same screen, it doesn't look good. Yeah, you can do via scrolling and all, but maybe doing in a different task, maybe doing in different screens, it will be very, for the saving of the data, it will be good. For the minimizing the task on the same screen, it will be also good. And Amazon has like 2 more steps as well, like payment gateway and then information after the product, purchasing the product as well. Use familiar screens. Okay, can anyone give me brief information on the screen they see common on the most of the applications? Yeah, not you. Anyone else? Common screens. Login screens. Next. Search, yeah, it's pretty common. Splash, yeah, splash is always common. Yes, what? Stories, yeah, you can count as stories. Okay, so this is the familiar screens. For example, splash screen. When you tap on the icon from the mobile screen, user automatically thinks that there will be a splash screen and then some whatever things they have designed. So what you should do on the splash screen? Don't give all the information of the application, that my application does that, my application does these things. Just a logo should be suffice, or maybe the motto of your application, or some animation should suffice all the splash screen things. Login screens. Has anyone built the login screen here? So many of you. Sign up screen. Okay. So let's say I'm building a mobile application and there is a login screen. So what should be the minimal content on the login screen? Anyone? Username, password. Okay. Okay, sign up. Okay. So since you mentioned the sign up here, for the mobile screen, it was there were a day like people show that login screen, there is a forget password login, and then there is a sign up button as well, or little link there. But nowadays the trend is changing. You should not go for the sign up button there, or maybe the forget password as well. You should give two information in just one screen before. Like if you want to log in, click on the login, sign up, then sign up. When you click on the login, there is only login information and then forget password as well. If you go on the sign up screen, there is always a sign up form there and nothing else. So it is also a task distribution. So you can only see, okay, this is a login pane and this is only one task and that is done. You don't have to maintain the hierarchy of the navigation as well on that one. So this minimizes the workload of the application, plus user don't have to think on that one. Yeah, user inputs. Yes? 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 Yeah, that's correct. That is another way. Yes, of course. Yeah, that's a good input. Yeah, I have seen many applications does that as well. Cool. That's good input. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, minimize input here. User input. Anyone? Can anyone explain this term? What? Please? Not you. Anyone else? I don't see any answer from the right side, my right side. Yes? Yep. Yeah, so social signing. So if user has Facebook login or Gmail login, they can just skip the login screen and they're like done. Just he has to allow once and next time done. So minimizing the user inputs fastens the process, not the fastens the process. And yeah, that should be it. One more example of this one, let's say if you have saved the credit card information on your checkout. Next time, you don't always ask a user to input the same information again. Maybe your session could expire as well if user don't have the credit card with him. So this is the minimizing the user input. And many more other things are available as well. If you want, I can take it offline for this one, many more, how you want to create the design for as well. So let's see what are the common screens here and how they have been building. Anyone? Application name? Yeah, so this is a branding. Well, I have written on the right side, but still, if you see the logo, everyone knows. So when you are opening the splash screen, you should do something with your logo. And in between, you can load some APIs in as well. This is a graphical idea for the AR. Yeah, we are still got time. Okay, onboarding tutorial screens. So you have to give user information that, okay, these are the tasks can be done inside the application. So this is like a walkthrough of the application. And you can give on the once user logs in, and maybe just after the splash screen as well. So, yeah. So it doesn't always have to be animated. This is just like text and just little bit graphics, and it should do the job. Events. So this is a calendar screen, maybe the application where if you have seen the meetup page, maybe a Google Calendar, iPhone calendar, they have done like very pretty good job for designing the calendar. This is a graphical idea, how you should minimize other content, just focus on the calendar. This is another way how you should progress with the events. Player. Most of the social media has the player. Streaming services has the player. On the left, both are the Google application. One is for the music, where you can also see the video. On the right is always for the music. But what you see, there is no other data, just the title of the album or whatever a playlist you have been subscribed or saved. And there is a play and pause. Okay, do's and don'ts. I'll go very quickly fast for this one. Research before the design. So if you are making a product and once the product design is done, you have to consider the graphic design. So graphic design, you have to do some analysis, like if there is a product available in the market as well. And check out their user feedback as well, like what are the good feature users like of this application, what are don't. And you can use that information to implement in your application. Prioritize feature. Okay, so I show you one application plan only. So our main core feature is just like plan simple post in your Instagram. So when you upload one photo, and it will be scheduled for the Instagram. So that is a one main goal. And in between, you can add supporting feature like cropping the image, splitting the image, and all the things. But you should be clear about your core goals. Cut out the clutter. Similarly, we have discussed that you should not be giving so much information. Navigation self-evident. Okay, so one question here. iPhone and Android, they have different navigation for the back and right, and maybe tapping and the swiping as well. So anyone has switched from Android to iOS, iPhone, or iPhone to Android? Any user? Right? So they must have felt like for the first, okay, there is a back button on the bottom of the phone. It is Android. And they sometimes do not like that one. So this is the experience user feel. You have to create the application and the navigation according to the OS is available. For Android, you have to give some navigation on the bottom. For the iOS, on the top left. Finger friendly. So as devices are small, you have to give enough touch area to get your task done. For example, there is a button. It should be like minimum 0.7 to 1 centimeter long, or touchable area. And then in between, you have to give little bit space that it doesn't overtouch with another component. Minimize typing, like use the information that you have been given from the user previously. So right now, we have a slow internet in this auditorium. So if anyone has opened your Facebook or somewhere, how do you feel? Do you see any loading dialogue or somewhere? Yes? No? Okay, no one uses Facebook, I see. Yeah, so they have ditched the loading icon. This is some animation. Okay, this is the similar of post, and like something goes from left to right, some animation. And well, if you are seeing this one, if you count the seconds in this one, it takes actually very long, but it doesn't feel like it. If you are seeing the loading button, okay, oh, it takes so much long. It is bad application, something like that. So you have to take care of the experience here, that, okay, how you are showing the graphics here. Typography. So this is the one of the biggest topic that expert could go for like weeks on and on just for talking on the typography. I'll be brief here. Scale. So these are the brief information for the Android. Headline 6, overline, headline 5, and body 2. There is a point in the fonts that you should use this kind of this size of fonts. If you are giving like 3 to 4 line information on the listing, user anyway they're not gonna read that one, so you have to get rid of it as well. Font. So this is one of the newspaper application. There is the overline text, one of the title, and there is a brief information, and there is an article. So this is a good one. This is not. You see the font, it is changed. And it doesn't look good to user eye. Button. So it looks good because the font is clear, it is not funky. But here, it is funky. Like some of the, you should follow some of the system fonts. You don't always have to use your custom fonts. Focus. Prioritize your information. Okay, what should be the first, what should be the next. Contrast. So in any color, the first one looks good in the black or white. Same for the logo. But here it doesn't. Because I use the same color and font, but the background is different, so it doesn't look good. So you have to take care about the contrast as well. Error. One question, is anyone here colorblind? Okay, no one. Do you know what is colorblind? Yes, okay, cool. So red always means error, but it doesn't always have to. Because red colorblind people do not see this as a red. It's something like brownish something. I'll give you a reference in the back. So there is error at the bottom, but it doesn't say anything like what is the error. But here it says, okay, your text limit is exceeded. So this is a good user information that, okay, this is my actual error. You don't have to be the robot, okay, it is error. Okay, this one is good. So on the right side and the left side, both have given some information. But on the left side, it says specified date is incorrect. But yeah, that is incorrect, but what should be the date? So there is a right side information, date occurs in the past. So that means users knows, okay, this should be maybe present or future, something like that. Give good information. Personality. Okay, if you are designing the app, you should also consider the personality of the app. Let's say if you are designing the color for the login button as maybe what you see is you're like reddish. Okay, so it is a red. So it should be considered throughout the application, not just for the login screen, but whatever the main action can be done. Cancel or then dismiss and all the things, it should be like gray. That should be fine. So that creates the personality of the application. Okay, and it doesn't always have to be the red color for the error. You see this is a Google Play Store application and there is no internet connection, and it just states, okay, there is no internet connection. You don't have to show the dialog or maybe the toast. It should be done this way as well. Gesture. So I'll conclude my slides here. Android Q is now Android 10. They introduced many of the gesture here, similar like iPhone, good for iPhone users. So on the back, if you do the long back, it will take you the previous screens. For the iPhone, I think it like 2 or 3 finger gesture. I'm not sure though. So similarly, you have to take care of the touch area when you are designing your content, that it is only on the left side. There is a more as well, not just on the left side. These are the inside from the bottom. This is the latest mobile design. You have to follow on the right side, but to give the previous compatibility, you have to also follow this one as well. I think that should be it. Okay, so if anyone have a question, I'll be offline here. Maybe due to time constraint, let me know. But yeah, you should follow all this. At least take a look at the applications guidelines for the design and the UX. So it doesn't always have to be your big application. Maybe 1 or 2 page of application could be a good hit as well. Okay, thanks. these are the resources that I have concluded should be good for you, and I'll be publishing the slides maybe after 1 or 2 days later. Cool. Thanks.